the Western Roman Empire and the Ottoman Empire. In this video, we'll find out why two of history's most legendary empires finally came crashing down. First, we'll talk about the remarkable reasons why the Western Roman Empire fell. One of the major reasons that caused the Western Roman Empire fall was the invasions by barbarian tribes. One of the most straightforward explanations for the fall of Western Rome is its series of military defeats at the hands of outside invaders. For centuries, Rome had clashed with Germanic tribes, but by the 300s, these so-called barbarians were pushing further into Roman territory. The Romans managed to fend off a Germanic uprising in the late 4th century, but things took a dramatic turn in 410 when the Visigoth king Alaric and his forces sacked the city of Rome. The empire then spent several decades living under constant threat. The city was hit again in 455, this time by the Vandals. The final blow came in 476, when the Germanic leader Odoacer led a revolt and overthrew Emperor Romulus Augustulus. After this event, no Roman emperor would rule from Italy again, making 476 a significant marker of the Western Empire's downfall. Another significant reason was the economic troubles and over-reliance on slave labor. While Rome faced external threats, it was also struggling internally with a severe financial crisis. Continuous wars and overspending had drained the empire's treasury, and heavy taxation coupled with rampant inflation created a huge divide between the rich and the poor. Many wealthy Romans, trying to avoid taxes, fled to the countryside and set up their own independent estates. Meanwhile, Rome was dealing with a serious labor shortage. The empire relied heavily on slaves for farming and craftsmanship, and its military conquests had traditionally supplied a steady stream of new slaves. But as Rome's expansion slowed in the 2nd century, the flow of new slaves and war resources started to dry up. The situation worsened in the 5th century when the Vandals took over North Africa and began disrupting trade by raiding the Mediterranean as pirates. With its economy in decline and commercial and agricultural production faltering, the empire began to lose its hold on Europe. Government corruption and political instability expedited the fall. The enormous size of the Roman Empire made it tough to govern, but ineffective and inconsistent leadership only made things worse. During the chaotic 2nd and 3rd centuries, being emperor was particularly dangerous, with more than 20 men taking the throne in just 75 years, often after their predecessors were murdered. The Praetorian Guard, the emperor's personal bodyguards, frequently assassinated and installed new rulers at will, even auctioning the position to the highest bidder at one point. The Senate, too, was plagued by corruption and incompetence, failing to check the excesses of the emperors. As governance deteriorated, civic pride diminished, and many citizens lost faith in their leaders. Another notable reason was the overexpansion and military overspending. At its peak, the Roman Empire stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the Euphrates River in the Middle East, but this vast expanse proved to be its undoing. Managing such a huge territory became a logistical nightmare. Despite their impressive road networks, the Romans struggled to communicate effectively and manage their extensive lands. Defending the empire's extensive borders became increasingly difficult. By the 2nd century, Emperor Hadrian had to build his famous wall in Britain just to keep invaders out. As more and more funds were poured into maintaining the military, other areas suffered, technological progress slowed, and the empire's infrastructure began to crumble.